All right, so get this. Earth has like a new moon now.
Hmm.
Well, a mini moon is, I guess, more accurate.
Right.
But still, it's a whole moon that wasn't even there before. We're talking about 2024 PT5.
Yeah.
It's a recent discovery, and, well, everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
I've got an article here from Forbes with all the details, so are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it. You know what I think is so fascinating about this mini moon 2024 PT5 is that it just shows how dynamic our solar system really is.
It's true. It's not every day that something new gets added to, Earth's, group of stuff.
Exactly.
So before we get too excited and start planning, moonlit strolls and everything,
All right.
let's maybe untack this a little.
Yeah, mini moon might be a little misleading.
Okay.
We're not talking about another, big glowing orb in the sky.
Oh, yeah, this isn't some dramatic thing from, a movie or anything. It's
Right.
more like just picture a bus-sized asteroid just kind of floating around, pulled in by Earth's gravity.
And that's what makes this so exciting, at least scientifically.
Right.
The chance to study an asteroid up close without having to, launch a whole mission.
Right.
We could learn a lot about what these things are made of,
Yeah.
maybe get some clues about the early solar system, even figure out if any of them could be a threat to Earth someday.
So you're saying this mini-moon is like a gold mine of information, and here I was picturing a slightly larger than usual rock, I guess.
And that brings up another point. As cool as it is, this mini moon is not exactly putting on a show for us.
Oh, how so?
Well, its magnitude is 22.
Magnitude 22, what does that even mean?
It means you'd need an incredibly powerful telescope to see it. Way more powerful than anything you'd use for stargazing.
So much for a weekend project. But even if we could see it, sounds like this little guy is on a tight schedule anyway, right?
Yeah, that's right. The article says 2024 PT5 will only be around for about 57 days.
57 days.
And then it's out of here, back to, the vastness of space.
That's barely enough time to even, get to know its craters or anything. So we've got a bus-sized asteroid too faint to see, and it's only hanging out with Earth for a little over a month.
Yeah, and that short visit is because of its connection to what's called the Arjuna asteroid group.
The Arjuna group. Okay, now that sounds interesting. Tell me more about this exclusive asteroid club. So this Arjuna group, they're the ones that, swing by Earth every now and then, like cosmic tourists.
Exactly. They have these really interesting orbits that bring them close to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also affected by the sun's gravity, so it's kind of this balancing act.
The cosmic tug of war.
Right. And sometimes that leads to these temporary captures, like with 2024 PT5.
It's like Earth snags a dance partner for a little while.
Exactly.
Which makes me wonder, has Earth done this before? Are there other mini moons we've hosted?
You're right to think that. Remember 2020 CD3?
Another mini moon.
Yeah, it was discovered back in, 2020.
Right.
And it actually hung around for a few years before finally drifting away.
A few years. Now that's a long-term relationship, at least in space terms. Why the difference, though? Why did 2020 CD3 get to stay longer than 2024 PT5?
It's all about their orbits, really, how they interact with gravity. Each one is unique, depends on the object's size, speed, its whole path.
So it's like every mini moon has its own story.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, so each one is different. Speaking of different, the article mentions something called quasi-satellites.
Yes.
Those are even weirder, right?
They're definitely interesting. Quasi-satellites are kind of like, they blur the lines between being a true moon and just a temporary visitor.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Take 2016 HO3, for example. It's also known as Kamo o Alewa.
Kamo what now?
Kamo Alewa. It's a Hawaiian name.
Of course it is.
It means the oscillating celestial fragment,
Catchy.
and it describes how these objects move really well.
Oscillating celestial fragment. So what makes the moon so special?
Well, they look like they're orbiting Earth, just like a moon should.
Okay.
But here's the thing. They're actually orbiting the sun at the same time.
Wait, so they're going around the sun, but also going around us.
It's called a 1.1 resonance.
Right.
Basically, for every loop Earth makes around the sun, the quasi-satellite makes one too, but in a way that keeps it synced up with us.
So are they a moon or not?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
They're not gravitationally bound to Earth the same way our moon is,
Right.
but they're so connected to Earth's movement that it's hard to just call them a regular asteroid either.
It's like they can't make up their minds.
Exactly. Quasi-satellites are the cosmic free spirits just doing their own thing.
I kind of like them. So we've got these quasi-satellites hanging out but not fully committing, And it's making me rethink this whole orbiting thing.
It definitely makes you think about the bigger picture.
Yeah, it really
Is
is.
it complicated?
On like a huge scale.
Exactly. But that's what I love about astronomy. It
Mm.
always surprises you, shows you the universe is way more complex than you thought.
It's true. There's always something new to learn. So, just to recap, we've got 2024 PT5, our new little mini moon.
Right.
It'll be in Earth's orbit for, what was it, like 57 days?
Around that, yeah.
And while we might not be able to see it without a seriously powerful telescope,
Yeah, you'd need quite the setup.
it just goes to show that Earth's always got something going on, you know?
It does. And we've talked about other mini-moons, too, like 2020 CD3.
Right, which stuck around for a bit longer.
Exactly. And then there are those strange quasi-satellites, like Kamaoalewa.
Always dancing around, never fully committing.
That's one way to put it.
It's like a whole cosmic ballet happening out there, and we're just starting to figure out the steps.
That's a great way to think about it. And it's why discoveries like 2024 PT5 are so important.
Because they give us clues about how gravity works.
Exactly. They push our understanding of the universe even further.
It makes you wonder what else is out there. I mean, if we keep finding these mini moons,
Right.
how many more objects are out there doing this kind of cosmic dance with Earth?
That's the big question. There could be countless objects that cross paths with Earth's orbit in ways we haven't even begun to imagine.
So our cosmic neighborhood is a lot busier than we realize.
It's teeming with activity, most of which is still a complete mystery to us.
It's pretty awe-inspiring when you think about it. All this is happening, all these ancient objects, some the size of buses, some even bigger,
Yeah. And each one with its own story to tell.
zipping past our planet while we just go about our day.
It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
It does. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of mini moons and quasi-satellites and, well, everything going on in our little corner of the universe.
It's been my pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Keep looking up, and we'll catch you next time.